I was stabbed up, I was battered, and I was hit by a truck. But that was part of my life as a hitman. Hey, I'm John Alite, ex-enforcer for the Gambino family hitman, and I'm here to play Never Have I Ever. Never have I ever killed someone. I have in the past. You can't take back what you did, you can only move forward. But that was part of my life as a hitman enforcer for the Gambino family. And some of the things I did for the Gambino family, I killed with a bat, I killed with a knife, I killed with a gun. It was part of the life for me to enforce some of our rules and laws when I was sent by guys that I work for personally. Never have I ever nearly been killed. I have. Unfortunately, I was stabbed up a couple of different occasions and shot. I was hit by a truck. I was also baseball batted and piped. And on several occasions, different organizations tried to machine gun me on the corner of my house. Another time, guys involved with the mafia tried to shoot me down the block from my house. One occasion, I was in a hospital for about 6 weeks. I got out of the hospital, I was probably about 80 pounds. That was just part of my everyday life, unfortunately. Never have I ever refused to kill someone. I have. At the time, John Gotti Sr. was in MCC Manhattan. He asked his brother, Pete Gotti, to come back and see me at the club after a jailhouse visit and asked me to kill a guy as a favor. I believe he was part of or one of the guys that killed my friend Greg Ryder. That body was never found, that he was supposedly chopped up and disappeared. I refused to do any kind of favor for him to help him beat his case while he was in jail for several murders. During my enforcing days, I was also accused of killing a rabbi, hired 2 people in Jersey to murder his wife while he had an affair. It was big news in Philadelphia and South Jersey. I was questioned, accused of that murder. Later on, I was cleared. They found the 2 guys that did it. They told on each other. The rabbi went to prison for life. The detectives at the time when they came to see me, you guys know what I do for a living. You think I'm a hitman, but I wouldn't kill women. I'm the guy that would go after the guy that killed a woman. I would kill that person. So I think afterwards, my reputation talked for itself. They knew I wouldn't do things like that. And I never got accused of something like that again. My hits were involved only with street guys, mob guys, nothing outside of that. Never have I ever been to prison. Unfortunately, I've been to prison my whole life. I've been off parole. The last couple of years was the first time since I'm 17 I've been off parole. I've been in prison in Florida, in New Jersey, on a cruise ship, in Brazil, probably 40 prisons. I did a book called Prison Rules with Nick Christopher. It's a handbook, actually, about the pitfalls of the street and how to avoid them and how to avoid trouble inside prison if unfortunately you find yourself there. When I went to jail in Brazil, it was nothing like United States prison because it's almost like concentration camp-like. In the prisons I was in, you get about 100-something guys that get killed a year. There's guns inside the prisons, there's machetes, and there's occasions where I myself had to stab several guys in prison in Brazil. But it was more of a torture situation, not here where you're housed and confined there. You're tortured, you're beat, completely different situation in a third world country. I think when you grow up in the life I grew up, fortunately for me, my father trained me as a kid to accept getting hurt. As bad as they are, you have the mentality to never quit. You're going to survive it. Somehow you're going to get out of it. You're going to try to escape, and you have that no-quit attitude. It was a life where I hurt and killed a lot of people. It's the part that took me to another level that most guys don't go to. Even though they talk, they'll do this or do that. Like most mob guys, if you go through the counts and see how many people they actually hurt, shot, stabbed, very few of them have done that kind of work. It's only a handful of guys like myself that do that kind of work. Never have I ever suffered PTSD. I have. I think anybody that's been in wars or seen the violence I saw, it's impossible not to suffer from PTSD unless you're a sociopath. The toll of people I hurt, killed, butchered, I think took a toll on me mentally. And I started seeing therapists probably for about 30 years, same woman, somebody I relied on to help me not lose my temper when people are pushing my buttons. And at times I yell, I scream, but I don't react the way I used to. It's okay to think the same way, just don't react the same way. My lifelong dream is to continue helping every kid not to stay in prison and to get out and live a good life. Never have I ever regretted killing someone. I have not. And the reason why I say I have not, and I think that's going to surprise a lot of people, because if I didn't come to this point in my life, I don't think I could ever save all the kids' lives I'm saving now. So I think for whatever God's plan was for me, it was for me to get to this point, the lowest point you could probably get into your life, and reflect back on the lives that you took, the people that you hurt. But in the long run, I think I'm going to save more lives by doing the things like I'm doing now, the Johnny and Gene podcast show and all the talks and the Second Chance program for teenagers and young adults. I think, some of the rewarding stories that people ask me, there's a young boy who became a Muay Thai fighter champion. His name's Sam Greenfield. I've mentioned him plenty of times on different podcasts and shows I've done. He had a friend that was killed in gang violence in the UK. So I flew over to the UK and Sam's father got in touch with me. We started speaking and I started talking to his son, and his son turned around his life. Instead of trying to get revenge and kill the guys that killed his friend, he changed his life. He started helping kids, advocating for kids, became a champion fighter, and he just received a reward this year for advocating for young adults. So it's something I'm really proud of. I changed a guy's life who saved a lot of guys' lives. It really makes it successful, and it helps me to move forward doing what I'm doing. I can't look back and regret it because I can't take it back, and it's something that'll just frustrate me mentally. And I think the only thing I can do is use what I did in such a bad past to make such a good future.